And then just snake the right arm up, drop the hand so that the elbow's out, and just come slightly over to the left. But use your left hand just to stretch out this side. Press your feet down to come back up again, and then just lower. Lift and roll that shoulder. And then snake the left arm up. Drop it. Drop the hand down, elbow up, and just come over. Your chin's to your chest. You can look forward or up. Press the feet down to come up, and then turn. And straight away, we're going to just gently open the hands, hug, have your feet comfortably hip width apart, come forward and just chin to chest, and just rock from side to side. So it's hugging yourself, opening at the top of the shoulders. Very gently come to standing. Just circle your wrists one way and then the other way. I think in England it's a damp combined with cooler weather, and that is killing. It's killing for the spirit tree. Pansy phoned me up yesterday. She's got yet another infection. The doctor won't see her, so she had to resort to telling her to fib and say, I've got this, that and the other in order to get an appointment. So there are certain red flags they have to. And she said yes, so just remember which hand's on top. As you gently just open. If you go the same one again, it doesn't matter, but just try and even up. Hug and then just. I was thinking, put Julia by the window, she'd half open the window, that might be a better solution than the whole door.
I think just lock the door when you start.
Well, that's what they do in other places. They lock the door.
When I worked at Fox Hills, on the dot of 12, she locked the door and nobody could come. Not even 1 minute past. People said, oh, please let me in.
But then being an American, I would say it's a health hazard if there's a fire or anything. Well, it depends on your insurance. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that is a very good point.
Get people out.
I don't mind because you can be late.
Well, I think. Sorry. Next time, just saying. I'm going to say. I say it nicely. If you don't want to say anything, it's just maybe more difficult for you. I'll say something to her.
I just thought that putting everybody else at totally cold just because she wants.
Yeah, disrupting when we'd already.
Just
disrupting when we were. Yeah.
I know, I just like, and lift and roll shoulders. And then just put your hands on your waist, and you're opening the lungs here. So at this time of year, respiratory wise, it's not great. And you find this in Qigong, which is a Chinese breathwork system. In yoga, I am insured to teach yoga and yoga therapy and all aspects related to that. If I say that this is yoga, I'm completely covered, and it is in yoga. If I say you'll also find it in Qigong, apparently I'm not, because I'm not covered for Qigong, but I am under all yoga therapy, which is absolutely ludicrous. It's just absolutely. This is in yoga, it's also in Qigong. But so I don't think I need to worry. Hopefully about insurance. And yes, so you're opening under the arms, so it's the lymphatic system, the upper lymphatic system. You're opening up the lungs. And then mindful of backs, because of any back issue, but just very gently turn to look over your right shoulder. If you go slowly, your body will guide how much you want to turn, and then come back to the centre. And then very gently turn to look over your left shoulder. And then come back to the centre. And then just lift and roll the shoulders a couple of times. Roll them forward. So just checking that should be all right, but isn't it?
No, it's nice. That's nice doing that.
And then just finally second by lifting and rolling back. So I just want to go through with shoulder movement, same with hips. When you're stiff on your shoulders, quite often you think a shoulder is set in a socket. Same for everybody, but it's not. The cup that the shoulder head sits in can be narrow. It can be set forwards or back. Genetically, we've got all kinds of things going on. So what looks like a normal shoulder actually can have a lot of things. People who are hypermobile are very shallowly set. They've got flexibility, but they haven't got the strength, so you look at the alignment on that. But when you're moving to protect the shoulder, if you're moving your left arm to the right, you just, if you're moving your left arm out to the left, bring the left elbow in with the leading of the elbow, and then just open out.
You're not doing full extension and an open arm, which is the problem I've got.
And don't go, only go as far as you can, and then just bring it back. So this comes under somebody called, what his book's Eric Chaplin, and he was a choreographer from New York Ballet, where dancers have a lot of injuries. So it was looking at ways of visualization movement. So, and it's quite elegant, bringing it in to open it out, and then you only go as far as you'll go. And on the shoulder in particular, just drop your arm. You've got, as the shoulder goes up, you've got a rotator cuff. Some people simply cannot lift their arm up, it clunks, it hurts. So in order to get around that, you kind of bring your elbow in and go circle up to get around that difficulty. In the Yoga for Cancer training, they've got various movements of the arms to stretch out onto here. People have had surgery, or just generally for the chest, but they've still got this in. And one of the things that I kind of flagged up, that some people can't lift up because they've got restriction naturally there. So you maybe just, I wanted to explore with the hip as well, hold on with hip. So if you move your hip out to the left, you bring the knee in to move it out. And I've got a feeling you see that in dance naturally. People don't just put their legs out, they bring them in to bring it out. And again, it avoids that clunk for the hip.
But also the physio explained it to me that you've got, because of gravity, when you've got an extension of your limb that you're taking up, it's working twice as hard to get the bottom part of it up if you've got a weakness up here.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah? Yes.
Because I can't, when I'm lying down, I can't lift my hands up. So if I'm lying flat, I can't lift my arms up like that because I've got the gravity of both the heaviness of that. Whereas if I lift it and do it like that, I can do it. So it's to do with the extension of the. That's just it's mainly what you're saying, but I'm saying
in a different way. Yes, that's interesting.
So if you move it just bent like that, you haven't got the full. You're not.
Yes.
You haven't got the full because of gravity, which takes that much harder to do it.
So in yoga therapy, also picking up on that. Keeping your elbow bent is much softer on the joint for people who've got injury. So which it applies to everything, just half. So like triangle rather than going up.
Yes.
Just keep your hand there, and it just softens it for the joint, and you get a better outcome.
Because again, if you've got pain here, which I had, taking it right up all in one go. Do it in two, taking it up. It's much, much harder because of the weight of your arm.
So the same with everything. Keeping bent at the knees and the elbows is quite a good thing. So let's just start by swaying from side to side. It's quite interesting just to look at. I quite enjoy that sort of dissecting of it.
Yes, no, it's just. Some of these things just overlap, don't they?
I think it, yeah, because really we get to where we are age-wise, and it's keeping, I think, flexible safely.
Mm.
So then just coming back to the shoulders again, I just wanted to ask you, this movement, fingers tips to the collarbone and out, should be quite simple. It's not.
It's one of the hardest ones.
Okay, just do a
I can
couple
do
of
it.
those.
It hurts. Yeah.
So my next one, which I find quite difficult, elbows together and circling. Do you find that easier? Or
Yeah, that's easier.
easier?
Yeah.
What about you?
But it's not easy, but I can do it. There's no difference. No, it's not so
And then just reverse it back a couple of times and then just leave. And then just come to hands together at the heart centre. Soften the knees, circle your hands to where it works for you. So here or here. Palms together. Just slide the hands down the legs onto the shins. Half lift. Breathing out, curling in. Half lift. And stay here as you breathe out. Soften the knees, press the feet down and roll up vertebra by vertebra. Standing. Lift and roll the shoulders. I mean, the other thing is almost supporting the shoulder at everything, at every, so that you're not almost like a, yes, you've obviously got something in there. Have you got a torn, you've got
No,
the
it's a partial frozen shoulder with a damage to the bicep muscle at the front. But the damage to the bicep muscles caused the partial frozen shoulder because I don't move properly, because obviously you subconsciously protect yourself from pain, so you don't move it properly. I've had it for so long that that's what's happened. I'm in the NHS, but there we are.
The NHS.
So I couldn't get sorted out for 8 months.
But then, you see, it's the right shoulder.
Yeah.
So you, going back to Eva, would have carried everything on your right thing, so there's a slight overuse there anyway.
Yes. Yeah, sure.
But I've got a slight restriction on my right shoulder.
Mm.
So just then come to mat, have your legs, well, are you able to sit cross-legged or not? Just again, just have your legs out. And just explore, hands on the knees, just sit up. You can keep your eyes down on the mat or closed. And just explore slightly rocking from side to side. And notice when you rock over to one side, the point where your muscles might engage to keep you upright. So just rock before you engage the muscles. So it's just a pleasant rocking from side to side. And then just sit up and breathing out round chin to chest. You can just place your hands on your ears. So this is a cat-cow movement, sitting up and breathing out chin to chest. And just repeat that a few times in your own breath pattern. And then come to sitting upright. And this next movement, it's actually in the series, this, but I wonder, actually, I want to try this way, one side, and then come to the other side. But I just wonder, particularly this stiffness, whether it might be nicer to have your legs straight and try that.
It's easier.
Easier. Is that easy? Just, again, preference. Okay. It is interesting, isn't it? Might have more of a stretch. To me, it's easier. I get more of a stretch along the side doing it that way. And then just coming up and just slightly feet hip width apart. Just circle the ankles one way and then circle the ankles in the opposite direction. And just open the toes and relax them. And then just slide the hands down, lead with the chest. And just stop around the shins. I don't want you coming down too far. It's just the nearest nudge to coming forward. And it starts to be calm for the nervous system. And just very gently slide the hands up to come to sitting, and then come the opposite way. You don't have to have your hands like this, although that's yogic, you can have your hands. And just lift at the chest, lengthening. And it's optional to lift your chin, but with control. And raise your eyes. So when you raise your eyes up, your eyes are disconnected from the stress centers of the brain, and you can subtly change your perspective. And then just come up. And then just coming onto all fours. This is just a slightly different movement. Just start by swaying the hips from side to side. And as the hips sway to the left, look over towards the right shoulder. As you come back to the centre and the hips sway to the, I said right, didn't I? Well, as the hips sway one way, you look over the opposite shoulder. And then this next one, come to all fours again. Tuck the right toes under and just slide the right foot back. And then just subtly come forwards and backwards on the tips of the toes. So you're opening up under the right toes. This is quite helpful for sciatica, which, or you think of the sciatic nerve, and yes, that's true, but at the base of the spine, where all the nerves, muscles are, any kind of compression of the lower spine can impact further down into the legs, so it's almost not just a sciatic nerve, there are other things as well. And then just very gently place the knee lightly on the floor. Come to slide the left foot back and just do the same there. Then place the left knee. Have your knees slightly wider apart. And we're going to come to quarter dog. So begin to bring your bottom towards your heels. It doesn't have to go to your heels at all. Bring your left arm across your body, elbow out to the left, fingers to the right.
And then just extend your right arm. You can keep a bend in the right elbow. Your bottom might actually be up more. And you'll just feel a stretch under your right side, on your right side, but depending on how much you bring your bottom back will depend on where you emphasize the stretch. And if you want to increase the stretch, then just move your right hand to the left to get a greater stretch on the right side. Your bottom could be off, as I said. You can tuck your toes under even if you want to. I'm resting my head on the inside of my right arm. And if you're stiff in your right shoulder, you can bend your right elbow a little bit so that the arm's not so stretched out. Again, that principle of bending the elbow can be helpful. And then you just very gently slide out of that, and we're going to reverse so that the right arm comes across and extend the left arm out. And then again, you can just choose your comfortable position. This is quarter dog, so it's a very subtle inversion. It's so subtle, stretching out the side. Walk your left hand over to the left. You want a greater stretch. Sorry, left to the left. Your left to the right. Left hand over to the right. Well done. Just let that stretch out. And then just think back, coming to back to all forms, and we're going to come to lying on our backs and knees bent, feet a bit apart.
Any focus on hips? Yes.
Just stretching out really. Thank you. Great.
Opening out. So, just bend the left knee into the chest. Drop the hands underneath the left thigh. Gently raise the left leg to the ceiling. And you can use your hands to support your leg, or you can just drop your hands to the floor and just start to shake the left leg. So this is setting up vibration in the leg that extends all the way through the ankle, feet, knee, up to the hip area. It's freestyle, so you can move slowly, fast. And then just bend the left knee into the in, hugging the left knee in again. You're just holding the left knee, just circle the left knee in one direction. Now, depending on how tight you are in your hips, I'm using both hands, and so I'm limiting my circle. If you really want to open out and get a bigger circle, just drop your your left knee to the left, holding it with the left hand. Right hand can go on the right hip bone on the floor to stabilise you, and then just you'll find the circle is bigger, but it comes down to come. I don't find this as comfortable, but I get a bigger circle. So choose which version you like. And of course the invitation is to reverse the circle. So in terms of hip preservation, circling the femur and the hip joint is one of the simplest and safest ways to free off the hip joint. And hugging the left knee into the chest. And very familiar breathing, let it go to arm's length. And just do that a few times. Hugging in, letting it go to arm's length. And then just, when you're ready, very gently support the left leg to place it back onto the floor. Palms down, just sway the knees from side to side. And then bringing the knees to the centre, hug the right knee into the chest. And when you're ready, either supporting underneath or however works for you, raise the right leg to the ceiling. You can rest your hands on the floor or support under your thigh and just start to shake your right leg. The idea of vibration and fluidity in the body is reflected very much in dance as well. It's a very popular theme. And where muscles can stiffen up and contract slightly is when there's been a lack of movement. So when people walk a lot, but they're not moving the hip through the full rotation, and that lack of movement on the edges is where things can get stiff. Toxins can kind of, from the blood, can cause like crystals, but that's very much arthritis and little things build up on the joints. And then just hug the knee into the chest again. And take your circle, either holding the right knee with both hands or holding it with one hand. One of the reasons that this is so beneficial is that because you're lying on the ground, the muscles of your back, the muscles generally that you have to engage to stay upright, aren't being asked to do anything, and so your body can fully focus on your hip here. And when you're ready, reverse the circle in the opposite direction. And then hug the right knee into the chest. And as we did on the left side, still hold the knee as you breathe and let it travel towards arm's length. And just repeat that in your own breath time a few times. And then keep the right knee hugged in, let the left knee join it, both knees hugged in. So hug both knees in, let both knees travel away to arm's length. And you can hug your knees in as much as you like, just work out what works for you. This seemingly simple hugging in also works on something called the Apana energy. And this very much connects into the Vata dosha Ayurveda. And that Vata, any pain in the body, is associated with an imbalance of Vata, an excess of Vata that hasn't left the body. Then hugging the knees in one more time. Slide your hands down the legs, the lower legs, so that your knees open out to the side. You're holding above your ankles just for a moment to open up the groins. The big toes are vaguely aimed towards each other. And you can just slightly rock from side to side. It's only a minuscule rock, a few millimeters. So you can feel here that you're opening out the inner groin, which is like Baddha Konasana sitting on the grandpapa's pose. This, again, you haven't got gravity or anti-gravity here. And then just circle the ankles a couple of times in one direction and then in the other direction. So something in Kundalini, but some people don't like this at all, is just banging the big toes together. But if that completely freaks you out, I quite understand. Again, it sets up a vibration through the whole body. Still holding your shins. And then just slide your hands up, hugging the knees into the chest, and just gently rock from side to side. And then just supporting your legs to place your feet back down on the ground. Palms down. And just a couple of pelvic tilts, so flattening the back as if you were going to lift your bottom, and then moving in the opposite direction. So a very small movement, bringing the back in the opposite direction. If you wanted to strengthen your back, you could just subtly press down with your fingers and lift your bottom up a little bit or a lot, whatever works for you, and then breathing out, roll it back down. So it's a way of strengthening the back. Just lifting up a little bit, and then breathing out, rolling it back down to the ground. And then just come to stillness and just sway the knees from side to side. So the hip might lift up a little bit as you sway from one side to the other. And then come to stillness. And take a few breaths, breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth. And then just very gently hug the knees in, again rocking from side to side. And we're going to gently think about coming up to a seated position.
So technically, if you've got the space, you would roll to your right. Just press down on your right side. Press your left hand down to come up. And swivel round. Come to a comfortable seated position. Now legs out, cross-legged. Whatever works for you. And this is a breath work and a meditation, hands to heart. Breathing in, hands out. Breathing out, hands back to the heart center. Breathing in, this time the hands just subtly go forward. Coming back. So we now alternate, breathing in, hands out. Back. Hands out. Your own breath back. Out. When you finish your next breath, just drop your hands, palms up to your knees, to your lap. And imagine you've got a lotus flower or any flower of your choice in your hand. And as you breathe in, just open your left fingers as the flower opens. And as you breathe out, the flower just gently closes, your thumb and fingers just lightly touching. And as you breathe in now, just open the petals of your right hand, fingers of your right hand, and breathing out, just gently bring the petals together. Back to the left. Open the left flower. Breathing out, just bring the petals back together. Left side. Just a couple of breaths to your own breath pattern. And just stop moving the fingers and just notice your breath. And take a moment here to set your intention for the day. A wish for yourself or someone close to you. Some collective people close to you. And just let that thought process, that wish drift away, your intention's been set. Just bring your hands to your heart as you take a